And across the country, tensions between police and communities are high. That stress is making it harder for police to do their job and keep us safe. And nearly 2 years ago, the tension spilled over in Ferguson, Missouri, after the shooting death of Michael Brown. So how are police working to heal that divide? Ferguson, Missouri's first African-American police chief, Delrish Mosco, is on the record. Good evening, Chief, and congratulations on the new job.
Thank you. Good evening.
So, Chief, what do you see as your first challenge on the job?
Well, I think one of my first challenges has really been to actually go out and introduce myself to the community and work to heal some of the divides that we've seen. There are several segments of the community that feel differently about police service, and we're trying to make sure that everybody knows that no matter who you are, what tax base you're in, police service should be the same across the board.
Why is there that divide? What provoked it?
Well, I think there are a number of reasons that there's a divide. I think some of it's historic. Some of it has to do with some things that were discovered here in the city of Ferguson. But a lot of this is also playing to the backdrop of a national narrative that also talks about where an incident happens in Miami and it has a bearing on what happens in Ferguson, or an incident happens in Baltimore and it also has a bearing on what happens in Cincinnati. And so I think part of this is part of it's historic, part of it's systemic, and part of it has to do with a national backdrop.
Many police officers I've spoken to say they feel like they have been demonized, or that they don't have the support generally of Americans. They're feeling a little bit like they're feeling a little bit under the weather, in other words, and how Americans are looking at them. Do you understand that? Is that true, and is that fair?
I think I understand it, because any time that you're in a profession, and most police officers take this job to do good, you feel like you're assailed by people who don't appreciate it. And of course, there's that feeling. But I tell them to harken back to the 1980s when I started. We would pull up on an avenue and we would take on rocks and bottles. Now you take criticism, a little bit of protest, and you probably get some harsh posts on social media. So I don't think that it's gotten worse, but I can understand why in the middle of battle you would feel that way.
What's the role of race in all this?
Well, I think race is a big thing. I think the United States historically has issues with regard to race, and so people see things differently. People view things differently, and I think that at some part, at the heart of it, we draw from human beings, and so with that, there is some bias in the way sometimes services are delivered and sometimes in the way services are perceived.
Today in Baltimore, the judge in a bench trial found the police officer, one of the police officers in the Freddie Gray case, not guilty on all counts. Were the police in Ferguson watching that verdict? I mean, was it talked about in the police station and headquarters today?
Well, I certainly was notified the minute that it happened. And that's because, you know, obviously, like I said, if something happens in Baltimore, it certainly has a bearing on how police are perceived in Ferguson, in Miami, anywhere. And so, yes, that was something we talked about.
How about, are police treated fairly by the media in general or not, or don't we get it?
Well, that's a difficult question to ask, because it would all depend on the media entity. There are a number of variables that didn't exist 20 years ago. Social media, for instance, and media geared toward a particular interest. A lot of things happen now that didn't exist before, and I think so there's a more polarized version. But there are some people in the media who get it. There are some who just don't.
Chief, thank you for joining us, and good luck. You got a big job in front of you, sir.